It was late in the evening, the kind of night when the desert air feels heavy with stillness, and the vast, empty stretches of Texas seem to swallow everything around you. The road ahead seemed to go on forever, a long, lonely stretch of asphalt cutting through the dark heart of the plains. The only sound was the hum of the engine as I drove, the headlights illuminating the road. Just the occasional rustle of wind across the land, and the ever-encroaching darkness. It had been a long day, and my mind started to wander. The vastness of it all, the isolation. It makes you feel small, like the road could stretch on forever, and you'd never see another living person again. I noticed them when I was about a half a mile out, two figures standing on the side of the road, right where the land met the horizon. At first, I thought they were just another pair of hitchhikers, but as I got closer, something about them felt wrong. It was the way they stood, unnervingly still, as though they weren't affected by the cold air or the darkness surrounding them. They didn't even move when I slowed down, which was strange in itself. I almost kept driving, thinking they were just kids who had wandered too far, but something told me I couldn't leave them out there. It's a strange instinct, one that I wish I'd ignored. But I pulled over, rolled the window down a few inches, and asked if they needed help. That's when I saw their eyes. The girl was the first one to look at me, and when I saw her face, her eyes, everything inside me froze. They were black, no pupils, no whites, just solid black, like deep, endless voids staring straight at me. The boy next to her had the same eyes, black as night. I couldn't look away, like they were pulling me in, trapping me in their gaze. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to shake off the dread that was creeping up my spine. But they didn't answer. They didn't even blink. I looked away for a moment, trying to convince myself this was just some strange coincidence. But the air felt colder now, heavier, as if something was pressing in from all sides. It was like the world had gone silent, the road, the wind, everything around me faded. It was just them. The girl took a step forward, her face expressionless. Her clothes were dated, like something from a past time. Worn jeans and an old flannel shirt. The boy was in similar clothes, ragged and out of place. It struck me odd how they looked, like they didn't belong in this time or this place. They didn't speak. Instead, the boy, his voice flat and emotionless, said, "Let us in." The words were simple, direct, but they felt wrong. They felt like a command, not a request. I felt the blood drain from my face as the tension in my chest tightened. There was something about the way he said it. No fear, no urgency, just this eerie calm that made my skin crawl. "Let us in." The cold from the air seemed to creep into the car now, curling around my bones, making it harder to breathe. I wanted to scream at them to get away from the car, to run, but I couldn't move. It was like my body was frozen in place. My hands gripped tightly to the wheel. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, my head swimming with panic, and still, they just stood there waiting. I was trapped by their eyes, by the stillness of the moment. The world around me felt like it was narrowing to just that one moment. Those black eyes, those children. I didn't know what to do. I felt a rising sense of danger, something primal telling me to leave, to get the hell out of there, fast. Without another word, I slammed my foot on the gas. The tire screeched as I sped away, my heart hammering in my chest. I looked in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see them chasing after me. But there was nothing, no sign of them at all. Just the empty road, the same emptiness I had seen when I first approached. But my mind raced. I could still see those eyes burned into my vision. The cold, lifeless stare that seemed to reach into me to strip away everything inside. I kept driving, my hands shaking, my thoughts scattered. The road ahead seemed even darker now, like the night was closing in on me. When I finally made it to the nearest town, I didn't stop to get out of the car. I just drove straight through, my eyes flinching to every shadow, expecting them to be standing there, watching. But there was nothing. I didn't speak to anyone when I got back to my hotel that night. I couldn't bring myself to. The silence in my room felt suffocating. I couldn't shake the feeling that those children weren't just looking for help. They were looking for something else. Something worse. The next morning, I did what anyone in my situation would do. I called a paranormal investigator. Maybe it was crazy. Maybe I was just imagining things. But when I told him the story, he didn't laugh. Instead, he told me I wasn't the first to report anything like this. In fact, similar encounters have been happening for years in this part of Texas. People seeing children with black eyes, standing by the side of the road, or appearing at their doors asking to be let in. He told me about the stories, about the strange things people felt when they saw those black-eyed kids. A deep sense of fear, dread, a feeling that something terrible would happen if you let them in. But what did they want? Why were they out there? The investigator didn't have the answers. But he did warn me, never let them in, never engage with them. He said the few who had tried were never heard from again. I don't know what those children were that night, whether they were ghosts, demons, or something else entirely. But I do know this. I'll never forget their eyes. And I'll never stop wondering if they're still out there, waiting just beyond the edge of the road, in the silence of the Texas plains.